I'm not happy, Lampard. Not happy. Ask me why, Lamps.
Okay. Why?
Why what? Be specific, Lamps.
Why are you unhappy?
Arsenal, Lamps. 3-0 to bloody Arsenal. I mean, they're 15th in the table. They're in the worst possible form we could ever hope to encounter them in, and you go and lose 3 bloody nil. Now, it's not entirely your fault. Yes, your tactics were bad, if not just entirely non-existent, but the players on the pitch were equally poor for the most part. 2 or 3 maybe put in a bit of a shift. 2 or 3 definitely played under what I would already consider pretty bad. So let's dive into these player ratings. Good God, this is going to be some rant. Edouard Mendy, 5 out of 10. Okay, penalty, can never really blame the keeper. Free kick, right in the top corner. Not going to hold anything against him for that either. The Saka goal, maybe when you get lobbed like that from across, you could say a goalkeeper is out of position. I don't really think so. It was just a fluke at its finest. But still, you're never going to get a great rating as a goalkeeper when you let in 3 goals. He did make some saves late on to stop it from going to 4 and being even more embarrassing, but one of those saves pretty much just came from his own doing, giving the ball away to Lacazette. Still though, he wasn't the reason we lost today, so I'm going to leave him with a 5. Reese James, 4 out of 10. This was quite possibly the worst performance from Reese that I've ever seen. He was at fault for the penalty. I do think it was not necessarily a dive, but definitely simulation of sorts. Still, it was rash from Reese to go sticking his legs in around there. Up the other end, he was poor at crossing. There was talks of him getting surgery on his knee. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the way now, considering he played today, but maybe it played on his mind a bit. But yeah, poor one from Reese. Kurt Zouma, 6 out of 10. Honestly, across the back line, Kurt Zouma didn't really have a bad game. I mean, didn't give the penalty away. Nothing he could do from the free kick. Nothing he could do from that Saka goal. He actually won quite a few aerial duels, looked strong in the tackle, looked relatively composed in the possession when a lot of other Chelsea players didn't. Still though, similar to Mendy, you can see 3 goals when you're playing in the back line. You're not going to get a good rating, so I'm going with 6. Tiago Silva, 4 out of 10. Similar to Reese, this is probably the worst I've seen Tiago Silva play in a Chelsea shirt. He did have a bit of a horror show against West Brom in his debut. Maybe that one was a bit worse. Today though, definitely not great. From the first 10 minutes, he looked out of sorts. He mistimed 2 defensive clearances that almost got us into trouble. Up the other end of the pitch, he had, I think, 2, definitely 1 great chance towards the end to maybe spark a bit of life into us, and he squandered that. He was excellent just a few days ago against West Ham. Definitely wasn't at the races today. Ben Chilwell, 3 out of 10. Honestly, I don't remember a whole lot of anything coming from Chilwell in this game. Did he put any good crosses into the box? I don't know. He didn't overlap quite as much as I would have liked to put pressure on the Arsenal defence. He wasn't necessarily at fault for any goals, but the Saka one in particular, he was absolutely heartless trying to get out and close the ball down. It was awful to watch. So yeah, I promised Chilwell that if he kept up the good performances, I'd give him a nicer looking picture. Well, as you can see, he's still stuck with that lame ass piece of crap, so tells you enough about his performance. N'Golo Kante, 5 out of 10. Kante did a few good bits, won the ball back a couple of times, put pressure on better than most Chelsea players, but he just looked absolutely overran in midfield. And considering Arsenal had feckin' Xhaka playing in midfield, that just shouldn't happen. Kante didn't look great in possession either. Not his best game. 5 out of 10. Mateo Kovacich, 4 out of 10. The fact that he was hauled off at half-time says enough about what Lampard thinks about how he played, never mind what I think. Pretty much sure the only good thing that he did all game was get fouled by Mari, who picked up a yellow card for it. I don't remember a whole lot from him other than that. Definitely didn't play anything spectacular going forward. Clearly wasn't doing his job defensively because we were being overrun, like I just said. So yeah, Kovacic, you just got back into the team. Wouldn't be surprised if you're dropped again after this one. Mason Mount, 5 out of 10. Another on a growing list of Chelsea players that I don't think I've seen play worse, at least not this season. Mount offered very little going forward. His work rate was still there, which is why I've given him a 5. But I mean, some of his deliveries from set pieces would make you cry, like trying to put things to the edge of the box or go deep. I mean, we have Zuma and Tiago Silva in there, ready to head home. That's all you need. Just stick it on their head. But no, he was trying all this fancy, over-the-top nonsense. Didn't work for him in this game. Try that rubbish when you're playing in a cup game against a conference team, not in a derby match against Arsenal. Am I being harsh giving him 5 out of 10? Am I being lenient giving him 5 out of 10? I honestly am unsure, but I'm going with it anyway. Kristin Polisik, 7 out of 10. Finally, something a little bit positive to talk about. He was one of just a couple of players out there in a blue shirt that looked like he wasn't willing to give up the fight. 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-0 down. He looked ready to battle on. He had a number of sensational dribbles. He made the Arsenal defence and midfield look like mugs at time. No end product for him today, although that was in part due to the fact that nobody was getting onto his crosses. There was poor runners around him that weren't dragging Arsenal defenders out to create more space for him, and in the end he gets a 7 out of 10 because he tried, and that's worthy of a good score for me in a game like this. Timo Werner, 2 out of 10. He was rubbish. I don't care if he wants to play up front and he isn't. He's playing on the wing. Suck it up. Do your job. I mean, why would Lampard play him up front right now? The finishing that he's put on display, it's been atrocious. Why would you want anything like that in your striker position? I mean, out in the wing today, you could have put Tiago Silva. You could have put Mendy playing on the wing today, and they would have put in a better performance than Timo Werner did. His dribbling, awful. Passing, woeful. Shooting on the couple of chances that he had, diabolical. He can't start the next game. We have Hudson-Odoi back. Let him play. Give Werner some time out of the starting 11, out of the limelight, and maybe then his performances will pick up. But right now, he's just an absolute burden. Tammy Abraham, 7 out of 10. Tammy actually did look quite good in this game. Probably another reason why I don't think Werner should play up front. Tammy's not doing half bad up there at the moment. He showed some good touches. He linked the play quite well. He held up the play quite well. Unfortunately, there wasn't always the right amount of movement around him. But he kept on going till the last. And he got his goal in, the 85th minute to show for his efforts. But unfortunately, him alone, with a bit of help from one or two others, wasn't enough. Jorginho, 3 out of 10. He came on at half-time for Mateo Kovacich, and towards the last few minutes of the game, I was thinking, I'm just going to smack them two in the same position on the ratings, give them a 4 out of 10 because he came on and offered nothing more or nothing less than what Kovacich offered. And then he went with the stupid stutter run-up penalty again, missed again. Well, it was saved. It was an okay save from Leno, but there was no power on the shot. I know Timo Werner was off at this point, and Lampard does want Werner to be our number one penalty taker. But even with him off the pitch, I don't think Jorginho should have been next up. I think give that to Tammy. He's a striker in form. Give it to Kai. He's proved before that he can take penalties. Pulisic probably would have done a better job. So for missing that penalty, Jorginho gets a slightly worse score than Kovacic. Callum Hudson-Odoi, 8 out of 10. Pretty much the only player on this list that I would say deserved to be on the winning side today. He came on at halftime for Werner and he changed the game. Well, okay, obviously he didn't change the game because we still got smacked around, but he changed our game at the time. That's probably Arsenal fans buzzing in about how crap we are. Anyway, Hudson-Odoi, he offered so much more than Timo Werner. He played some beautiful passes. He dribbled past his man on multiple occasions, put in some wonderful crosses. We were always just that away from getting on the end of them. He did eventually get his assist from a cross for Tammy, who managed to bundle the ball home, but he should have started this one. I hope he starts the next one, because if we had come away with something today, it definitely would have been with him as the difference maker, but not to be. Anyway lads, that's it for this one. To be honest, we got what we deserved. Arsenal smacked us around from first minute to last. I probably got what I deserved after making my Arsenal will get relegated video only like 2 or 3 days ago. But if you agree, disagree with my ratings, comment below, like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more footy chats, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video. God, we're crap.